Hello everybody, this is Diane. Today is Monday, the day that I'm filming this. You will hopefully see this on Tuesday. And I'm not really going to be doing any crafting in this video, I don't think, but I just wanted to let you know what's going to be happening in my pretty pink cottage this week. I worked on a couple of glue books this weekend, and they are different from other glue books that I've done, and slightly different just because I've collaged on the covers. So that's what I'm going to be hopefully finishing up later today. But I also wanted to show you what's coming up next. I'm pretty excited about that. So first of all, let me show you this glue book. This one will not be in my shop. The other one will be. Probably the day after you see this. So probably Wednesday it'll be in my shop. But this one will not be. I just wanted to show you quickly what I'm working on. I can talk more about it when I do the flip through, but this is a K & Company Smash book. I took the cover off and it had the craft cover with the embossed design. I rubbed some vintage photo ink over it to bring out that design more and did a collage, and there's a plastic buckle, a vintage plastic buckle there with some ribbon I threaded through it. And I did a little bit of collaging on the back because this is, it had the logo on the back. So it's a pocket there. And I just added some paper on the inside, and it's got this really cool patchworky looking decorative fabric. I've got my pages in there, but I need to add more. So I've got some calendars ready for me to cut up and add, and I don't know what else I'll add, but I know I just need to put in a few more pages. And then this is the one that will be in the shop. It's made with a vintage typewriter typing textbook. It's called The Typist, and the author is Fuller. And I thought that looked really cool. I don't know the year. I don't know if I have the year. Let me see here. Oh yes, this is the textbook, the text block. It's 1920. So that's pretty old. That might be the oldest typing textbook I've had. I've had quite a few of them. So I really enjoyed putting this collage on there. And this is a pin that I wanted to add. I love the gold with that. But I couldn't just glue it flat down because it's got the pin backing on it. So I pinned it to fabric and glued the fabric down. So it wobbles, but it's secure on there. And when I put the spine fabric on, I chose this one, but it wasn't quite long enough. And I've done it before where I wrap the spine piece around here and then add a separate piece in here. But for some reason, I felt like just piecing it together. So I had this piece and then I had this piece that I liked, and then neither of them were long enough. So and even together there was a little bit of a gap. So I just added another piece of what I put at the top. So I really like the way that turned out, and on the inside you can see more of this one. So this is vintage, and this is vintage. And I didn't add anything to the end paper because I liked the stamp on it. This purple stamp. Property of Larksville Borough School District. This book must not be taken from the school building without the teacher's permission. And that's an old stamp. It's probably from the 20s. So that's what I hope to be finishing up today, these two glue books. But I also wanted to show you what else I will be working on. I bought this journal kit a long time ago from TLC Creates Vintage, and it's Women's Magazine Images, I think it's called. It only has 6 journal pages, but it has some journaling cards and ephemera, and that's the extent of the kit, which is fine. I've got so much ephemera that I could add to this. So I went ahead and printed out my pieces today. These would have printed full page, like a full page, but I printed these 2 to a page in the 4x6 size. And then these 4 also would have been a full page, but I printed them 4 to a page. And this is just how it is in the in the kit. It comes just like this. All of them on one page. And it has 6 journal pages. And so all of these are images from old magazines. And they're really fun. Oh, I'll have to do that one again. It's got typing it. Oh, they both do. Okay. My printer was acting up for a while, and it kept, every time I wanted to print something, it would spit out a page with this gobbledygook printed on it. And I forgot that it did it on the backs of these. So I put them in so I could print on the fronts, and didn't realize that that was there. So I can cut out pieces of these and use them, but I will have to reprint those pages. Anyway, I'm pretty excited to get going on that. But before I actually really get going on the journal, I need to really work on these things. So in the last few weeks, I've been taking my old antique and vintage magazines. Some of them I got from my friend Jeannie. I purchased them from her. She's Happily Ella After on YouTube and Etsy. No, she doesn't have an Etsy shop, sorry. She's Happily Ella After on YouTube, and she has some really fun videos. But she was destashing her mother-in-law's attic, and she had been a collector of many, 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 many things. So I purchased sewing patterns, wonderful sewing patterns from her, and I also purchased wonderful antique magazines from her. Also, I picked up some others at flea markets. So it took me many days to go through them. I don't know if I'm done actually going through each page of the magazines, but I was pulling out what I wanted and cutting some of the things out, and kind of, then I one day spread them out on my table, and I was separating them into different categories so I can try to figure out how I'm going to scan some of these into my Etsy shop. So I've got some that will be food advertisements, especially the Jell-O and the Campbell's soup, because they are so colorful. So I'm going to figure out how to do this without a Photoshop or anything. There's Kellogg's Corn Flakes. I love that. I love this Jell-O with the strawberries around it, of course. I love that the Jell-O is so sheer you can see the plate through it. And there's some more Campbell's. And mince pie. Love that image there. This is from a 1920 magazine, the Delineator, and I know that one came from Jeannie. This is a wonderful image. So hopefully all of these food images will go into a food advertisement. Oh, there's more. There's this basket. This was also for, not Jell-O brand, but Jiffy Gel, I think. So cool. And here's the molds they were advertising. There's the Jiffy Gel. And there's finished product. I mean, it's an illustration, not a photo. And then this is big. And I don't know how I'll do this, but that's a Jell-O advertisement. Look at that little girl. So, oh, and on the back here is Snowdrift. So I don't want to cut this. I might have to take this to Staples or the UPS store right here in the valley where I live. They said that they can scan large images and print them for me. They didn't say scan. They said they could print them for me. But I didn't ask about scanning, so I'm going to see if they can scan, because I have some other ones that I need scanned down smaller so that I can make, like onto a USB stick, so that I can scan them into my computer and make digitals for you. Those are all food ones. And I might come up with more. But some of these are from fashion magazines and catalogs. And so I have some organized into accessories and shoes. I'm also going to be making my shoe journals coming up very, very soon. And I have Mrs. Coggs and Old Design Shop shoe images, but I'm going to add some of my own too. Aren't they cool? And then we've got hats. I had so much fun going through all of these, figuring out what I was going to use. These came from a damaged book. I don't know. Did I get that from Jeannie? It was very wet. I think I bought that, or somebody else sent it to me. I don't think this catalog came from Jeannie. The pages had gotten wet at the top, and so almost like through the whole book, almost there was damage on almost every page. You can see pink, and where it got kind of crumpled from the water, and then anything red or pink really went through the page. So I had to cut around some of that stuff and get some. It was worse on the full page images of the women, but I'm going to make it work for some of them. I have children's fashion that I can put. Oh, there's also some more. Look at the gloves. 50 cents. Those gloves are so tight fitting, it just looks like a robot hand. That, I love that. And more gloves. I'm showing you these so you get excited about seeing these in my shop. So I have children's, and they have hats also. They might go in the accessories bundle or the children's bundle. I'm not sure. It depends on how they fit, what I need. There's some children's, and there's, well, just right on top of this is a bunch of wonderful vintage ads. I know there's way more here than I can scan in and use. So I'll be making ephemera with some of it, but a lot. I'm going to scan in as much of it as I can. I only do 5 sheets, 5 pages per listing. So I don't think I want to do this many listings. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And some of these can go in the food one too. I kind of wanted the food one to be more colorful ones, but I can use, like, fill in with some of these maybe. I love this one, Invigorator Corsets. And this one, No More Round Shoulders, Knickerbocker Shoulder Brace. And I like the blue. These things are just so cool. So a lot of these are from the 1800s even, or the early 1900s. So I'll have some ephemera that is for beauty, shampoo, and there's hair fortifiers and skin stuff and soaps. So some of them will be for beauty, and some will just be generic, like miscellaneous advertisements. Like that one for Wrigley's Gum. Really fun stuff here. This is one of the hair. It says tar soap. This is the reproduction of a photograph of a Boston lady whose hair is nearly 50 inches long, of fine quality and very thick. Its quality and beauty are credited to the habitual use of Packer's tar soap. In other words, if you use our soap, you will have hair like this. Isn't this stuff fun? Now we're getting down into more of the fashion stuff. So we have the men's hats here. More men's styles. But I like this one too. Here's girls, because these are young ladies here. This is from the delineator that I got from Jeannie. These are just some, oh, these are from an 1800 decorator book that I picked up at a flea market. The Decorator and Furnisher, 1888. So there's images like this in that. I didn't cut that one because I didn't know what I wanted. This one or this one. I think this one would be more useful for junk journals because it's smaller, but I would scan this in so I would at least have it in my computer. Look at that. So there's lots of these. This is from a needlework book, a really old needlework book, 1931. This is from 1919. Ladies' Home Journal. More needlework. Babies. I might do a baby digital set, vintage babies. This is also from a Ladies' Home Journal. No, this is a needlework book, 1924, and that one is too. This one was in really bad shape around the edges, but she is so pretty. This came from one of those decorator books from the 1800s, I believe. This was a sturdier page that was meant for framing or something. That's an advertisement for some kind of a fabric, Indian head cloth instead of linen. Isn't that a fabulous picture? And this was a front of one of those really falling apart magazines or periodicals. It's 1894. Love that. That could go in my food one. The Delineator, January 1920. She's got cornmeal and she's making cornbread. Vicks Vapo Rub, 1920. And this is Colgate, but it's not toothpaste. It's to make ladies' cheeks glow. I think being out there in the snow and skiing would be enough to make your cheeks glow. That's a pretty image. Ladies' Home Journal, 1919. Beautiful. This is an ad for plumbing fixtures. Looks like they're getting their daily dose of vitamins. Isn't that a lovely image? That old farm sink, canning jars, that little boy watching his sister get her medicine, waiting his turn. It's just so sweet. Illustrations from a story that was in the magazine. There's a nurse, and then there's this for dye. There's some brides. So maybe I can do a wedding one. I don't have very many brides, so it would just be a small. But I love these advertisements. Royal Society embroidery package outfits. And I think these are too big for me to scan, so I'll have to take them to Staples too, or UPS. There's another baby one. This was a Needlecraft magazine. This is a hand-quilted baby quilt there. And then I've got a lot of fashion. Some of them are black and white, but wonderful, wonderful. This was in one of the Graphic 45 fashion sets. It was colored though, but I remember that image being in there. The fashion book, winter number. This was from the book that was damaged at the top. So this one is, you could see a little bit of pink there where the water or the color ran, but the top half of that page was ruined, but I could use this part. You can see more of the damage here. These are petticoats. Aren't they wonderful? So I'll be doing some fussy cutting so I can put these on a paper and scan them in. Even though a lot of the images were ruined, there were a lot that I can use, so I'm happy with that. If you were the one that sent that book to me, let me know. And after I scan them, if I feel like it's not gonna, and I'll print them too, and if I feel like it's not a good copy, then I'll just keep those scans for myself and won't put them in my shop. But I want to share as many of them as I can. Then we have the smaller line drawing images. So it's going to take me a long time to get all this stuff. I'll just be putting them in as I get them done. But I want to do some of them pretty quickly so I can use them in this journal that I'm going to make. Especially the advertisement ones, because this is women's magazine images. Well, that's what all these are. I love the shape of that. That one I'll have to go in a digital for sure. Pictorial Review, I think, was the name of that magazine. So many wonderful images. This one is from 1896, and that was these that I just showed you. An Illustrated Monthly Journal for American Women, 1896. And that's what these are cut from. Cool. These are the long pages that I got from Jeannie. And I think that's from the Pictorial Review. And these are what I have to take to another place to get them scanned. But I love the back too. So I'm going to have them scan both. But I think these would be too small. These images might be too small if I had the page shrunk down into a digital, but I certainly don't want to cut it up so I can scan it regular size and ruin this. That's not going to happen. I believe this was from 1912. I fussy cut some of the ones that were in the damaged book. So I got to start on that. See, the women's fashions are in the front of the book, and that's where it had the most damage, of course. So that's pretty damaged. And there's no color on these pages, but wherever the color was, it ran through to these pages. Those fashions are for stout women. her beauty reigns supreme. And we have men's. I love the men's images too. More men. We got boys. Oh, see, I wasn't done going through the whole thing because I haven't really flipped through these pages yet. Got the lingerie. Look at that. Beautiful petticoats. Little girls and boys, underwear and sleepwear. Door panels, lace door panels. I probably won't scan them in. More curtains and things like that. I do like the fabric pages, but water damage. So more boys and men's clothes. More shoes. Children's clothes. Look at that. Isn't that a shame? Mildewed. They don't smell bad, but it's got the black and brown spots of mildew. These I could scan. They're not too big, but they're damaged. I will scan them, and I will keep them. You know, like I'll be able to print them. And if they look decent, like if I could choose one, choose a side that I like, and then cut around it, and then maybe, like there's mildew on her, so I wouldn't do her. But this one I could probably do. This one is damaged right there on her hair. But this one is in decent shape. She's got a little bit of pink on her dress there on her shoulder. But I don't think that's too bad. And this one is pretty good. So it's just going to take some fussing and figuring. I'm so delighted to have them. I do wish that there wasn't the damage, but I'm so glad that somebody didn't just throw it away. The fashion book illustrating pictorial review patterns. I think this one went with I think this one went with that tall pages. 1912. Sport skirts that may be washed. This is National Cloak and Suit Company. That was the damaged book. It's a catalog. National Cloak and Suit Company, and I searched for it on Etsy, and I saw images, and I didn't see this particular one. Some of them were, like, the catalogs that you could purchase were well over $100. But you could purchase, like, individual pages, I think. But I didn't see this particular book, but I was looking for the year, and I think early 1900s is the right year, like the 1910s. This one is 1912. These are a little bit newer, but still very vintage. They're Vogue images. They look like they're from the 30s, actually. Butterick patterns. These are tall ones, too. The delineator again, with some more fun images. So this one has tall black and white ones with smaller images on the reverse side. But these small images are perfect for journals. They would scan smaller. Even if I scanned them myself, they would end up being smaller than this when you print them. But I think they're a perfect size to cut out and put in journals. I was wondering if I could even, since I don't do Photoshop or anything, if I could cut out an image and lay it on one of my antique wallpapers for a background, make a page out of it. Maybe I need to learn to use Photoshop. I really don't feel like using Photoshop. There's an advertisement for Old Dutch cleanser. Beautiful colors. It's a newsprint paper, and it's 1906, and it's French. Somebody sent this one to me. Girls' clothes. So as you can see, I certainly have my work cut out for me here. So I'm going to select some images that I can scan in and have them in my shop and use them in my journal. That way you can see how they look being used in a journal in case it's something you're interested in. But first I have to finish the glue books. I don't like to start one project before finishing another. It drives me crazy. So I hope that you're intrigued by all of this and that you're excited to see some of these in my shop and to see me using them in journals. And I hope that you'll stay tuned to watch this journal happening. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye.